Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. We're on season 6, episode number 6. Tonight, Andy, is the songs edition. The songs.
Yes, singing.
So we're going to
Oh,
be doing with a little album review tonight. Forgive my cold. I got a little bit of a hoarse voice, but we'll try to get through it. We're going to be covering
well,
a
man up and
band.
do it.
We're covering a band we've covered before. We don't touch on it too much here on our show, but it's The Doors. The Doors.
The Doors.
So this episode is going to be focused on an album review called Morrison Hotel. Andy, do you have this album?
No.
No, neither do I. I had to listen to it for the first time. I've actually never heard it, so this is some good stuff. I learned some new things here, of course. But anyway, the album was released in 1970. So I don't think Andy, either of us were even born when this came out because this is before my time.
Yes.
And yours. But Morrison Hotel is the 5th studio album by American rock band The Doors, released on Elektra Records. And so 1970 was Morrison Hotel, but right before this, Andy, they had an album called The Soft Parade, released in 1969, and that had a lot of brass, string arrangements, horns, a lot of that stuff. And they said, let's strip it down and get back to rock and roll. So that's what they did here for this one. Good album. Good. The songs are all good. I like it. There's 2 sides, and they're even named something different because they got the rock on one side of the album and then the blues on the other. But the blues that they do, Andy, you're going to love this, of course, and you also won't be surprised, is that even the rock is all blues. It's a very bluesy band.
It is, yeah. I've heard that.
Very good component of this stuff. So this album is 37 minutes and 5 seconds long. It's considered blues rock, psychedelia, and R&B. Now, I think at the beginning there was some psychedelic aspects, LSD, acid going on with the Doors, but this is a real good, just a bluesy album. Jim Morrison was a profound alcoholic at this point, but I don't think anyone was doing LSD by this point. Then again, I could be wrong. Now, what I like about the album cover is, check this out. The album cover, photos taken by Henry Diltz at the Morrison Hotel on South Hope Street in downtown LA. And so this was an actual location. They were out searching for spots to get photos for an upcoming album. And they said, hey, let's do this one. Cool spot, hotel in LA called Morrison Hotel. They stopped in. The band was all there. They asked if they can get the permission to get the band image here in this hotel window. They said, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. And so they hung around. And one of the guys in the band says, hey, the front guy at the front desk just took the elevator upstairs to check on something. Let's jump back behind this window glass and take the image. And they did. So they never got approval, got the image, and they jumped back there for about 30 seconds, took the picture, and came out for Morrison Hotel. Actual spot, no longer there anymore. The building's still there, but this was back in 1968, 69, I believe, is when they took the photo. The album came out in 70. On the inside of the album is a photo of the Hard Rock Cafe. And Andy, I think this would be a good trivia question because it does not relate to the original Hard Rock Cafe that we all know and love. That came out in 1972 in London, was Hard Rock Cafe. But in the Skid Row area of downtown LA, an area Jim Morrison himself liked because all the winos hung out there, was a bar called the Hard Rock Cafe. So the other picture on the inside of this album is from the Hard Rock Cafe. That was taken in 1969. The original Hard Rock Cafe, the business, the franchise itself, has nothing to do with this. So some cool stuff there relating to that. Here's the track listing, Andy. Side 1 is called Hard Rock Cafe. So this is more of your hard rock songs. Number 1, Roadhouse Blues. Now, this may be the most famous song. Everyone's going to know this song. It was not released as a single, but everyone grew to know and love the song Roadhouse Blues. Very good. Next one, Waiting for the Sun. Next song is You Make Me Real. Next song is Peace Frog. also not released, but this had a cult following of this song as well. Next song is Blue Sunday, and then Ship of Fools. Now, the back, side 2, is called Morrison Hotel. Morrison Hotel is side 2. First song is called Land Ho. Next song is The Spy. The next song is Queen of the Highway. Both of those songs, The Spy and Queen of the Highway, I guess the lyrics relate to his longtime on and off again girlfriend at the time, relating to that. They had a lot of fights. Like I said, he was pretty much a raging alcoholic at this point, so lots of things going on. Indian Summer is the next song, and then Maggie McGill. Now, the interesting song about Land Ho, if you read the lyrics for Land Ho, it's a song about being on the water, a military song, being on the ship. Keep in mind, his father was the Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy, George Stephen Morrison. So a little ode to dad there, ode to dad. And this was 1970. This was released. His father, George Stephen Morrison, once again high up, very high up, ended up his career as a Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy. Was involved in a couple of what I refer to as shady incidents, both in the U.S. military involving the Gulf of Tonkin incident in Vietnam that started the Vietnam War, and also the USS Liberty bombing, including Israel in 1967. Very strange that he's involved with both, but there's nothing more there to the story. I think people have tried to connect the dots there as far as maybe old Steve coming forward with maybe wanting to announce some whistleblower things going on to those activities. And maybe that was a result of his son being killed. Now, it was the following year, a couple years later, no, 1 year later, when Jim Morrison was found dead in a bathtub in a hotel in France, I believed. But that was a heroin or opium overdose or something. But very interesting stuff. So then, here's the personnel. Jim Morrison on vocals, Ray Manzarek, Robbie Krieger, also very good on guitars, underrated. John Densmore on drums. So good stuff there with the band. What I've read is actually that Robbie Krieger, very, very good, underrated guitarist back in the day, and never really got much credit, but way ahead of his time for the work that he was doing.
Kind of overshadowed by Brian May in that genre, I think.
Okay.
My opinion. Everybody looked at Brian May. When you looked at the Doors, you looked at Morrison. You didn't look at the guitars or the keyboards or the drums. You looked at Morrison. He unintentionally took the whole spotlight when he looked at the band. So that's how that guitar player went under the radar.
Very good, very good. A lot of the songs too, lyrically, this is a fantastic album. You know, Jim Morrison became a vocalist and a rock star, a musician, be it that as it may, but always wanted to be a poet. Very well known in circles as a poet, and for his poetry that he wrote, and the lyrics coming from his poet. Think Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, maybe a musician, rock star, but by heart a poet. And so words and the English language, very important to these guys. And some of the lyrics, very good stuff. That's all I've got for this episode. 1970, Morrison Hotel. You might like side 1 better than side 2 or whatever, but give them both a listen.
I've heard some of them. They're okay. I could stomach the fact calling it a blues album or this, but the psychedelic part for this album, I say no. But the band was still labeled as a psychedelic band anyway. Kind of couldn't help it, you know. So that's my 2 cents on that.
I agree.
All right, here we go. Got some other fun things to talk about here. Church of Cash, the Wanted Man Tour 2025. So we're going to do these after the Folsom prison. And here they're heading all over. You got Missouri, you got the Wisconsins and the Nebraskas, and St. Michael, Minnesota, March 8th.
Nice.
Here we go. Legacy of the Louds at Floyd's Bar, the 25th of January. So you got plenty of time. I've seen these guys. They're good. They're good. Guitarist Mixter, he does a good job here. He's also in Kissin' Time right now.
Okay.
The Israeli part. So Mixter knows his 70s and 80s hair bands, rock and roll. They do kind of like what Hairball is. They don't get in costume. They got a couple different lead singers that come out back and forth. They'll come out and do like 3 Whitesnake songs and then 3, group whatever songs. They go back and forth, but do a really good job. Highly recommended. Both the band and Floyd's come highly recommended.
Exactly.
Ace Frehley is working on another album coming out in 2025. So check another one out from the Spaceman.
He keeps
ties
busy.
stuff in here together.
He keeps busy, boy.
And I'm going to say this about Ace. A little sidebar here. The reason him and Peter Criss left the band, they bitched about the money. That Gene and Paul were getting all of it, they were getting none of it, or not as much as those guys. I get it. Now, Ace isn't not still doing this to make money because he's so broke. He just loves making music. He just wanted his fair cut when he was with Kiss.
Yes.
So don't be going, oh yeah, Kiss screwed him. He needs to keep recording albums. No, he made good bank with Kiss. He just didn't make as much bank with Kiss as Gene and Paul. So
yeah, I think what they did was they really just called out Gene and Paul, but the media took it as if they were complaining about not getting,
right.
Getting paid as much. They just went, we just want our fair share. We don't want to be screwed.
They did what everybody else did, and they bitched about their boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We were at the AC/DC Thunderstruck show last week.
Yes.
Here's one of the pictures from it. I just want to say, I've seen it before. Awesome job. Hats off. Dan was his first time at the show. I didn't hear a bad word from anybody there. I mean, usually sometimes you leave a concert and someone goes, man, they were kind of flat tonight. No, I heard nothing like that. They were all spot on. You got Kyle does the Angus part. You got Bobby Lee on lead. All of them did their part well. Steve Hamilton comes in for the bagpipes. Great.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever get a chance to see Thunderstruck, they come here about once or twice a year. You need to see them. Now, with that said, was it the same old show that they did last time? Kind of. But you know what? They're doing AC/DC songs. It matters. If you're, again, watching Kyle play guitar is awesome. But that's the type of band you go to listen to, not to watch. So.
Yeah, it is what I would call an electric show. Very moving, powerful stuff. I mean, it goes by so fast, and they played 2.5 hours, I think, straight through.
And there's still songs they missed. I saw some guys, they didn't play this, or this. Yeah, but you know what? We'd be here till 4 a.m. They try to hit at least one song per album, hit some deep cuts, some old stuff.
Yes. I loved it. Fantastic show to see these guys. Wow.
Homework assignment.
Okay.
Give us your nominations for Danta for his naughty and nice list.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to keep it local here. So don't say CEO of a major company or the head of Walmart. Or we're trying to keep it somewhat local here, Twin Cities area, Minnesota area. So send them in. You see our email addresses on there. You can tag us on social medias. If you find one of us at a bar somewhere, go, hey, how about this person for naughty or nice?
As it sports and songs together?
Yes. Yep. So, and we're going to combine in one list. We're not going to do a sports list and a song.
Got it.
A special episode. Everybody done. We're still working out flights with Danta when he could be here to do the show. We're trying to make sure we get all 3 be here together. It might be tight. I know you and the wife are going to be gone for a while, so it might be me and Danta doing the show. I don't know.
Okay. It'll be interesting.
We will see.
Scheduling will be tough, but we'll see. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of vacation you got to burn up here pretty soon.
Yes.
Connie's been riding your ass about that. And one more thing. Coming soon are one-hit wonders of the 80s. 12 of them kind of based off the 12 Days of Christmas. That's the idea, 12. That's where we got that from. Coming soon, watch your social medias for when we drop that. And I'd kind of like to hear your reviews on that. Like I said, we might do it again, another one-hit wonders of the 80s sometime. We may do one of those two-hit wonders. Some bands are considered two-hit wonders, stuff like that. So when those times come up, listen to our one-hit wonders when it comes out. If you think we missed some, which we did, there was the 80s for God's
Plenty to pick from.
Hundreds of them. But which ones would you like to see for the next time, or stuff like that? So that's what I got. That's my 3 cents worth here today. Naughty and nice list. Need those from you. When the one-hit wonders come out, listen for those and give us suggestions on that.
Awesome. That should be good. All right. Well, happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.